Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lang Shack. So, today we're going to be talking about Unit 13, which is going to be a dialogue basically regarding shopping. So, this is just a very basic dialogue. We don't have all the vocabulary for shopping possible, like the word for cheap isn't in here, but we do have some words for different things. Um, I am gonna have to say some of these terms don't exist on a formal level in Tuscarora, and that's just going to be the case, unfortunately, because not every single phrase has been translated, but most of the words exist as individual words. So sometimes market price will just price of the market, and reduction or discount is like lowering the price. So, or customer, there's no word for a customer or client, so you have to say the buyer, or you have to essentially create the form or create the word for buyer based on what we have on based on the rules of the language. So, done the best. And then there's some words, for example, like paper. It says, "Give me some paper and ink too." The word for paper is also the word for newspaper, I believe, book, and some other related things. So sometimes you have words like this that have multiple meanings, but all of those things mean something. And I'm sure that if there were more speakers speaking this, they probably would they either have ways to distinguish what a paper is from a book or magazine, stuff like that, versus um, yeah, they probably have their own ways to say it or to distinguish them, as opposed to us just guessing what it might be. But for the sake of this I just had to go with this too. There was something else on this that meant that there wasn't a word for, so I had to take it out from the original. But I did the best I could with this, and yeah. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So this one, and this is another case here. So this word quana, quana. So um, quana means much or many. So there's no word for how many, unfortunately, but there is a word for how, and there is a word for much or how many. So the easiest way to do this, until I can find an explanation or find a better translation for how much or how many, is te quana. So te quana kena. And I put hana here in case I'm not sure if this is used for many or much, but it's a particle for many or much in case you wanted to say this in a slightly different way. So te quana kenu, how much is this? And ase. So ase. So asa. So asa 3. Asa thakahui thakahuistat. Thakahuistat. So thakahuistat is dollars. So thakahuistat, yeah. Thakahuistat. Whisk is 5. Tiwatha. Tiwatha is like, it's like a form of saying 10. I've seen the same thing with 30 or 20. So whisk tiwatha quenis is cents. So literally translated, I could have put tisna for and, but it's not necessary. $3.50. Asa thakawistat whisktiwatha quenis. Okay, and expensive or dear. This literally means it is expensive. So this is the indefinite or the feminine ending or suffix, and anyeth means expensive or dear, the old word for expensive. So you anyeth. So you anyeth sechi. So sechi is essentially the word for too, like by itself, like too, too much, and too much is senchi kwane. So senchi kwane means too much, but you're not gonna go to too and find sechi, like an example sentence with sechi meaning only two. Sechi is typically used with something else, but kwane is consistently used for much and many, and sechi means two. And sechi kwane, I believe, is actually in the dictionaries, and it means too much. So this simply means too much, and so it's too expensive, too much, or it's too much. So I put these on separate lines just because sechi. I didn't want to have to use sechi twice. I got to put a comma there, but yeah. So you and yes sechi. It's too expensive. Sechi kwane. It's too much. All right, next one. Quest. Kianuha. Tu and yafna. Anya kwayenok. Okay. Anya kwayenok. So quest means no. Quest means no. Can is this. Can, and you could say canuke to say this is. Honestly, that probably would have been better here because the ka, if you add ka at the end of these, like kanika, ka, kanika, like that is, you could do the same with this. Canuke. It means, and the ka at the end makes it is. It adds that is to the end. Okay, so quest can ha to off. So you means it is expensive. Okay, so means it's expensive. Okay, you see the off. So tu off. So off means price. Tu off. So tu and off is price, and then market. Market is anya kwanye nok. Anya kwanye nok. Okay. Anya kwanye nok. Market. So market price of the market. So tu and yaf anya kwanye nok. Okay. The next one here. So this should be separated. So awesaya means to, it can mean to lower, and yastu means to reduce, and either of these mean you can lower the price and you can reduce the price. It's the same thing. So awe saya or yastu or yastu awe saya. So awe saya or yastu to and ya to off. Okay, and I decided to go with this one because it's a little bit shorter. Ostho ha tu and off. Ostho ha tu and off. Tu and off. And the last one here means, aren't you going to give me a discount? This literally means, are you? You could also say esa costu as well, or efa costu. It's up to you. If you want to use the theta, the th sound, or if you want to use sa for the second person singular for saying you. So this is will, essentially, the and the fa Tha is you, so this is will you, and then acosto, etha, yeah, etha costo ha. So etha costo is give me, and then this ending right here is the punctual, is that the punctual? Yeah, yeah, that's the punctual that combines with this here to mean will. So will you, so will you. And ostu means to give, to lower the price. And this ak is I. So sorry about that. I caught that too late. So ethok. So you, will you, I, will you me lower the price? And then I added the huh at the end for that aren't you, that aren't, the aren't. So if I cost who, are you going to hot that or the tu and yoff is discount or price. Tu and yoff is a price and next one. So Tuscavora, as I mentioned before, does not have a formal word in the dictionary. And when I say dictionary, I mean Rude Blair's dictionary, for the primary authoritative source for looking up words in this language. And there's not really a way to say customer, but there is a way to say buy or purchase something. So the way that this language does stuff is this is the habitual ending. So ra is always going to refer to, it can refer, I'm assuming it could refer to gender neutral, but generally refers to a guy, masculine. And then yeah, whenever you're using it, it is an indefinite marker, but it's also used for feminine occupations or people when you're talking about nouns. So and then regular as in commonly would be you caught it. So if you wanted to say like I'm a regular customer, you would say you caught tiatos. I'm not sure tiatos, right? So you could say but you have to have that pronoun at the front, indefinite, whatever. So if you want to if you don't know who the customer is, you don't know if they're male, female, you don't know, you just know it's a customer, they're coming in. Then you would just say yen tiatos. So you could say yen tiat, and tiat means to buy. So yen tiatos. So tiatos means customer, or ratiatos. Maybe you have a product that primarily caters to men. Maybe you would say ratiatos. For your or ratiasana customers, if you want to add the many at the end to turn it into a plural. So there's that. And then next one, so nyaweri, so san is, you usually use the san or the sa ending for you, for the second person singular verb ending. So, and then you would just simply attach that to that san. That would just go right in front of whatever the verb is going to be, or the noun is going to be, or whatever verb phrase you're gonna create out of that, so that you can, like, you are my customer. You would say you me customer. And that would mean you are my customer. So saying that can mean my, and it can mean mine, and it can mean me. It just means you're involved in the action of the possession of a customer. The business owner possesses you as a customer, right? So that's why that's used. And so nyaweri means because. It can also mean since. There's other ways to say since. There's like different ways. But this is This is one way that was actually, the word almost was going to come out. It was like tip my tongue. Anyway. Nyaweri, nyaweri, nyaweri. Sank. So, san, you, are, k, my, yet, yet, tjast. Yeah, yet, tjast. Yeah. Yet, tjatos. Okay, so, you, my customer. So, sekietatos, encast who? So encast who? So, again, you have the followed by the punctual glottal stop at the end, which tells you if you see at the front, it's probably going to be a future action. And then I, and then in this case is you, and then hustu. So hustu is to lower the price, to discount. So I'm going to give you the I'm going to lower the price, right? I'm going to give you a discount. So I will for you lower the price. Ha tu en yoff. So ha tu yoff. Whisk ti watha. So whisk ti watha. Is 50. So 5 tens. Whisk ti wath. Quanis. So quanis cents. Whisk ti watha. Quanis. And then ekhal kiana. I'll take this. So I will again. You see the for will, and the punctual. You have the punctual marker here, and since in the punctual case, because there is a W, if there was a Y, it would be the same. But in this case, because there is a W at the end of how means to take. How means to take, and you're saying will combining with the for the future tense. You have to put the that glottal stop punctual ending at before the consonant. So ekhao. So ekhao. Ekhao. Kiana this. And then the next one, we got uhiaten. So uhiaten. Uhiateste. Paper. This can also mean book and some other things like that too. And then uthukwe. So uthukwe. So uthukwe means paint. I don't think there was a word for ink. I'm not sure. But I think I'm using the word for paint. I'm not 100%, or maybe it means both paint, ink and paint. I'm not 100% sure. So we'll go ahead and do this, and you can insert a tisna here if you want to. Tisna means and. It's a connector. It's used for complex sentences a lot. You can put a tisna here if you want to. That's up to you and how you want to speak the language. Completely up to you. And then thakao. So give. So you give. You me give. Right, and for the imperative, you generally don't add anything. You just add a silent white space essentially. That tells you that it's imperative. So give me. So that's a command. So thakao. You, k, me. Ow means to give. So thakao. Stat paper. So stat means some like specific. So specific. So if you have like something that is very specific, if you have something that is specific, like you're saying something specific, you can use stat. But there's also xiaowen. Xiaowen. I'm assuming xiaowen is like some, but there's no necessity. There's no need to specify that it's some specific thing. So, and then uhiateste. So uhiateste paper. So uhiateste paper. Uthukwe ink. nekwer, too. So thakauste uhja, thakauste uhjatenste, uthuque nekwer. And then the last line, so can okay, so can so candy cane sounds like candy cane a little bit. So here it is, the candy cane. Can so candy cane means here it is. Candy cane. Here it is, and then whisk the kahwistat. Whisk the kahwistat. The kahwistat. Can $5, and here you are, sir. Whisk the kahwistat. Yeah. Whisk the kahwistat. Kanaka. Whisk the kahwistat. Kanaka. Yeah. Kanaka. All right. I'm just practicing this. Practicing the stress here, which seems to be on the second. It appears on the second. Stress is out on the second syllable a lot. Whisk thkawistat. Thkawistat. Kanaka. Whisk thkawistat. Kanaka. Kanaka. Alright. So that's all for today for this unit. There's also Unit 15, which will be about filling up the car. This basically is done. I just need to clean this up. As you see, it looks like a tornado hit the dialogue. And there's also this. I haven't even started this one yet. I had to change this one because a lot of this stuff is just not. It's not compatible with Tuscarora cuisine. So I had to change this to something that would be a little bit more familiar. Anyway, if you're looking for something like this for yourself, if you're looking for language coaching sessions, or if you're a heritage speaker and you need to become fluent in your heritage language, if you're someone trying to reclaim a heritage language, if you're learning a conlang, or if you have a conlang you want to learn, anything like that, if you have any language services like that you need to learn, or have dialogues crafted for a curriculum or anything like that, I can help. No matter how difficult the language is, no matter how complex the grammar is, I can figure them out. I can learn them quick, and I can help anybody that needs them. So I offer these sessions at very affordable rates. So if you're interested in learning a language with me, or being coached in any language, no matter how rare the language is, definitely hit me up, or visit my website at linkshack.club and book a consultation. Anyways, thank you all for listening, for following along, and I will catch y'all in the next video.